What's up, my loves? I'm here with yet another tutorial and template. This one's highly requested, the Flame FIYA. I just want to acknowledge my baby girl. I'm not going to say her name, but she is a phenomenal athlete as well as a scholar and an apprentice learning how to do Photoshop designs as well as Affinity Photo. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my girl and let her know that I'm recognizing you, boo. You on YouTube, bitch. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started with our 10-minute tease. So this one may be a little longer than 10 minutes because depends on how you have to manipulate the fire. So let's see, it is 11:02. Let's see what we can make it do. First thing I want to do is do save as and go ahead and save this. I'm going to do a Shakira. Now I know I tell you all not to do all these saving versions of these Photoshop files because they're large. However, this is one that it's not just a smart object. This is a file that once you edit it, you're going to be manipulating a lot of the elements. So if you like the way this is, go ahead, keep it as is, and then I'm going to do a new one. So there's no need to even bring this in as a smart object, but what we're going to do is just copy this layer style because it has an inner glow on it, and then we're going to bring in our PNG, and I'm doing Shakira from the Super Bowl performance because y'all, she was really lit. She was. I didn't watch Super Bowl. I just happened to see the performance today to see what all the fuss was about, and I really like her. I like her singing voice. I like her energy. She's really fun. So we're going to do something for her today, and as promised to any template that I post this week, we're going to be doing a Kobe version as well. So now before I deleted the other one, I did copy the layer style, so now I'm going to paste it. So don't delete until you, matter of fact, I should have pasted the layer style before I deleted it. Let me tell y'all the right things. That, boy, it's got to be hard being like a parent or teacher because you got to tell people how to do stuff that you wouldn't even do. Alright, so I'm going to, you know me, I'm going to fade that up from the bottom. So we'll double click on it because it was a smart object because of the way we dragged it in. I'm going to do a layer mask, grab my gradient tool, start from within the image, hold down my shift key so I keep my gradient going straight up, and I'm going to see if I can not remove so much of the skirt. There we go. Because you know we have to get that full effect of the movement of the hips because they don't lie. Alright, so it's looking cool already. Let's do one thing at a time. So what I like to do is turn off all of the layers. I'll keep the background layer because when it's dark, you can see the flames better with the dark background. That's why it has this darkness in the background. Alright, so already we're looking good. So I'm going to turn up the opacity. Now I'm going to remember that my opacity, matter of fact, let me do this for you all. Well, nah, because you might want your opacity to be anything. So I'm going to crank it all the way up, and I'll turn it back down just to make it look good. I want you all to start trusting your instinct. Alright, so here's one thing I can do. I can look here. I can't see anything. I'm not going to try to guess where this stuff is. But on the artboard, if you right click on anything you're trying to pick up and touch, it will give you options. Say, hey, you're touching this, 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 and this. What do you want to move? So I am selecting the first one, which were my rays, and I think I've gotten Shakira as big as I can get her because her arms are extended. So I'm going to manipulate these rays, and I can turn rays off if I don't need them because she's a totally different orientation and posture. So we're not going to be able to use the sparks in the exact, or any of the elements in the exact same way. But this is the beautiful thing about how this is set up. You can manipulate it. So I'm just kind of moving it around, but if I want to, I can do Control T to transform it, and I can actually rotate it, which is what you're going to have to do for a lot of it anyway. And now this one I'm bringing back, but I want it to go the opposite way where her waist, so I want it to go out that way. I'm going to do Control T, and instead of rotating it, I'm going to right click and I'm going to flip it horizontal. So now it gave me the opposite curve. Alrighty, and let's continue doing this. Like I said, this one may take a little more than 10 minutes. What was it, like 11:05 when I opened this file? So we shall see. Control T, move that around, hit enter. You got to hit enter to lock that in. And I'm going to go around our arm there, make sure we get on that mic. All right, Control T, I'm going to rotate that a little bit. And we got a set here. Now I did these sparklers as sets so that you're not moving around each one individually, but if you really need to, you can even stretch these out. So you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. That's up to you. I'm trying to show you the quickest way possible to get this thing on to a t-shirt as a 10-minute tee. Let's do these rays here. Let's see, I don't have any towards the bottom, so I'm going to Control T, rotate that completely, and I might make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And it looks like I might be missing, well, we'll see if we need that under the arm. So those are our rays. Rays are good to go. I'm going to turn them off for now and go to our sparks. Once again, I'll turn the sparks all the way up, 100% opacity, so I can see where they are. And I don't even have to open the folder. I can right click and it will tell me which one I'm selecting. This is so much easier than searching through the layers panel, you guys. I hope you know this trick. And I don't know if it's on all Photoshop versions or just, you know, the more recent ones in the CCs, but I can't even recall. But I have worked with older versions of Photoshop, even more recently. You do what you got to do to make it work. And, you know, whatever it is, you'll find a solution for it too. If you just happen to have to do a little research and see what the function was in the older program, how to achieve that same look. If I don't teach you anything else, I want to teach you how to research, how to pull it together on your own, regardless of what your resources are. Alright, I'm taking it and I'm holding down Alt and I'm dragging this now, and then I'm going to, so Control T is going to allow me to transform it. I'm rotating this one at the elbow. Alt, drag another one. My nephew used to say, another one, poop. When he was potty training, he was so proud. And he would show me every poop. He'll probably kill me. But yeah, he was so cute. I think, what, a year and a half year old, and other one, poop. Oh boy, kids. Alright, so that's it. You know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't give y'all too much information. So we got sparks in place. Turn them off. Next, let's go to the inside flame. Now these are lines as well. It's not just like individual little flames. So you can thank me later. I'm going to leave that one there where her hair is and bring this one to her arm. So we're going to do the same rotation and all that good stuff. Now these, squish them if you have to, resize them, do what you got to do to get them in place without having to redesign these flames. You can, but it's not necessary. I want to show y'all how to do to just get it rolling. Because I don't want you to be like me and just, you know, spend all day trying to perfect something and it kind of already exists, but not exactly how you wanted it, so you just recreate it anyway. I will always encourage creativity, but it has its flaws at times. One of those flaws is that you don't have enough time in the world. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the bottom of this mic. So I might take like this little one here. Let's move it, Control T, transform it to go behind the mic, but I'm going to hold down my shift key so I can squish transform it, and I want it to kind of show on both ends of the microphone. There we go. Let's see, around the head, I'm not happy with this one. I want it to contour a little bit better, so Control T will rotate that. Woo! Shakira looks like she is really on fire, and she just happened to have on this red dress. And I think even on the performance, it had, yeah, it did at some point in time had flames on stage. So we are definitely on point with this. All right, this one, I'm going to rotate just a little bit to accentuate her waistline, because we know Shakira's hips don't lie. And a little bit more manipulation of these. Like if I don't use them, I can delete them or turn them off. And you can delete them. They're all the same. Don't be afraid. These are literally all the same. So if you're not using them, get rid of them. And then you can always take one and hold down Alt and duplicate it again. No biggie. So this at least makes it to where I can see what I need a little bit better. Now if we had another basketball player in a very similar orientation, which maybe I'll be able to show you that with Kobe, this will probably be a little bit better to manipulate because it would already have that contour almost in place. All right, we need under the arm. So this one I like to do all the way around, inside and outside of the arms. The other one, I think the sparks I just did on the exterior contour. I didn't worry about the inside of the arms, but this one I definitely want everywhere. And Alt and drag is going to give me a copy of this. There we go. Alt drag another one down here to the bottom. And I just Control T and transform that one. I think I need one like this. The bottom down here. I didn't even have to transform that. And I need one more. I was trying to find one already going in that direction. Let's do the outside of the arm flame and bring it in. Perfect. So I think that's it. That would be the inside flame. And we're good on that one. We turn it off. Now let's look at the standard flames. These, once again, we can grab them and move them. If it starts getting too busy, then just completely delete some and remake them if you have to. Now I want you to also notice the orientation. These things aren't all the way around. They're more sporadic, just like accents. So keep that in mind. The other one contoured all the way around, and this one is more of an accent. And if there are some flames behind the images, don't even worry about it. It's there. It's not hurting anybody. It's not going to be seen. This one will be good for the bottom hem. And these I'm going to delete. Now you can also turn on this auto select. I turn it off because when I tell you this thing like does what it wants to, oh, it actually selected the right. Okay, we'll work with it until it does what I don't want it to do, and then I'll show you. So auto select is if you don't want to right click. It's going to guess what you're selecting. When you have several layers, like I have all the layers turned off, but when I have all of those flame layers on, it is horrendous. But for this purpose, if we do like we say we're doing, which is to turn off all the other flame layers, then we're good. And like I said, I was telling you that we're not doing everywhere, but I did everywhere right there. So let me move that one, delete it, because I want it to be more sporadic. Oh, and I just did the right click. There we go. See, we need a few more on her arm here. Definitely on the mic. Shoulder. Oh, see how I selected something that I didn't want it to select? Yeah, but so far so good. That one is in the orientation. I didn't feel like reshaping. Control T if I need to transform it or rotate it. Good deal. And these other ones, I think we're good. That's it. So those were the standard flames, and now I'm on to my big flames. Now you have your big flames. As a matter of fact, I'm going to link these two because I have a blue, and then the blue flames just really represent like the hottest the flame is going to be. But for me, I also like to color the flames whatever the team colors are, or in this case, the image colors are. So let me work with big flame 2 first, because I just want to make sure that this is actually touching. And that's more of an accent there. And let's do the blue flames, or do I want to do? I think I don't know. Let's add in all the elements and then we'll decide on the blue flames, because the blue flames does something for different different effects. Alright, so now it's really intense. Remember, we're going to turn down. I just turned on all my visibility for all my layers. Let's go ahead and bring the opacity down to around about 30%, but you can change it to whatever you want that looks good to you. Alright, the sparks, let's change to 30%. And then that way it gives a little bit of lighting inside. And that is it. The only thing we need to do now is we can change the background. So we have 2 different backgrounds. We have one that's just, and you can drop whatever you want into here. It will clip inside of this. But I think I'm liking this one, but we need to find something to put in the back. Or we can just do color. Let's see what it's like if we take out everything but the color. I want something back there. And this is where I should have had this already planned out, because you already know how my computer's going to try to trip as soon as I put on the internet while I'm recording and running Photoshop. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can do another photo as the background. Aha. So I have this. Oh, I really like this photo too. So let me drag it in and I'll show you. Just dropping it straight in. And this was one of the poses that she did during the performance. Let's drag it into this background layer, and then we'll automatically go inside of this clipping mask. I got everything else turned off, the black background set, and I think I'm going to turn off the blue flames and put on my red flames. But the way that you change the red flames, you don't even have to open the folder. You can just go here to color overlay and we can change it. You can even make it the yellow or red colors if you want to. Make it a deep red. Okay, and then of course we have to manipulate this photo somehow. This is where I eat up a little bit of time just trying to get my composition right. If I had another photo, do I have another photo? I don't. But this would be good to show you how you can change the opacity and do background images instead of always. And see how I did the auto select? It just moved something, moved one of my flames. So let me take off auto select now that I'm working with more layers on. I told you I was going to use it until it did something to me, and then that way I can prove that it is messing with me at times. And let's see. So let's take everything. I want to move everything except for my background right now. So I'm going to select the last thing, select the first thing while I was holding shift, and I'm just moving because I'm thinking I might need to put a little something else right here. I don't have anything planned, But let me see. And this isn't what I would want to use. I would probably want to do another just Shakira, but I have J-Lo too. Let me drag this into the background layer. So I did another one with J-Lo for the paint splash tutorial today. Okay, that works. So we got that. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Oh man, so it is cropped or clipped into that background. Let's do an opacity change here too. So it shows her having fun. And then even if we did get a little bit of J-Lo in there and we wanted to have her come out, we could always. And then we're going to have to do that anyway, because you see these lines? You already know your girl don't do those lines. As a matter of fact, so let me add her here. Now I'm getting in the layout. And then I'll put belly dancing, Shakira there. And then I'm going to show you, all you have to do is grab your, just that quick layer mask. Get your paintbrush, make sure you have black selected, and make sure that you are painting on the layer mask layer. And then I'm just going to go around it here. And there we go. And we can turn the belly dancing photo back on. Control T. I can resize it a little bit now that I have a little more space. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit so it's not exactly 2 pictures on the top and 1 on the bottom. Then I get a little bit of these flares or lights kind of coming through Shakira's face here. So I'm going to also do a layer mask on this one, on the belly dancing photo. And I'm just working away some of that red, the red lights or dots, because it's coming through on her face. And then even with this flame here that's kind of coming through on Shakira's face. Now I could make it a little more opaque in order to make that stand out a little bit, but I think I'm going to have to actually move this flame because I want it to stay low opacity. Alright, let's grab that flame right there, that big flame, and let's move that big flame. Okay, another big flame. Let's move it. That's it. So if I wanted to add words down here, of course I could. If I wanted to black and white these images, I could do that too. So I could take everything on this layer and do a layer, new adjustment layer, and do black and white. Now everything in that background layer, if I choose, use previous layer to create a clipping mask, is going to be black and white. And then you have an option to change your background color. If you don't want it black, do a color overlay and make it whatever you want. And this one I'm going to choose normal as my blend mode because I want whatever the color is to show through. Oh, I'm in the wrong background. I was like, wait a minute. This one. We'll do a color overlay. Effects, color overlay. We'll choose normal. And for my blending options, I have to make sure that I have that one checked off and I think these checked on. So everything but the second one is on. And normal opacity. See which one of these I need to turn off to make this work. For some reason it doesn't preview for me. How about this? Let's cancel all of that. Clear that layer style. because it was trying to do it, but it didn't quite do it. And as a matter, oh, I know, both of those images have black in the background, so it probably just is best to stay black. Alright, so that's it. It was a little over 10 minutes there, but because I had to add multi-photos, of course. But I just want to show you how to manipulate this one. Now, I already changed the file name, so I'm going to save this one. And then I'm going to probably go back to the original and do the Kobe while I'm here. Okay, so the original one, we'll open that one. And let's see if I have, y'all, I am so tired of these things telling me they're PNGs, but this is my opportunity to show you if you had to cut out your own photo, what you would do. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all of the effect layers right now so I can focus on this image. This really bothers me. I guess I'm going to show you the pen tool real quick. Now, usually I just take these things and pull them into remove.bg because this does take me longer. But this is definitely more precise. I had to do this to the Shakira photo because she had a whole bunch of stuff in the background. There were lights everywhere. There were other people. And that program, if it's more than one person, will cut out the other people. So I'm just using my pen tool and I'm clicking and dragging to create whatever curvature I need. I probably could do the quick select tool. I'm not sure. As a matter of fact, let's try it real quick. Quick selection. See how it grabs all that stuff? I'm not crazy about it. If it's a really high resolution photo, clear distinction between background and foreground, whenever they do these things like this with the checkerboard background, it is hell to try to pull the image from it, but what's a little challenge? Zoom out just a little bit so I can see where my next node needs to go. Now, when you're using the pen tool, it's all about the nodes. So wherever your previous node was determines how you can manipulate the next node or point. So when you pull these out really far or do something funky to them, it won't like you and you'll have to go back. Because it may look okay for this position and move, but when you make your next move, like if I don't make that one a little closer, then that curve would not have made it right there. So this takes practice. I still kind of suck at this. It's always a learning curve to this particular tool. Now, I have noticed that I do much better with this when I'm using my stylus and not the mouse. As with contour cutting anything, I think that could be a valuable tool. I have a little tablet screen, and I don't use it as often as I probably should. I use it more right now. I'm using it as a second monitor, but it definitely comes in handy for cutting out a lot of contours, which I try to avoid. I don't like spending my time doing this. You'll see this takes longer than preparing the whole file. So that's why I try to teach you shortcuts. When I learned about the remove BG, that created a lot of free time for me. And you can have things being cut from the background while you're preparing a file. So if you were doing work on demand, and I'm guessing that's his finger there, I don't want to cut that off. If you were doing on demand work, then you could have one system, and it doesn't have to be a real system like a computer. It could be a tablet or a phone doing your photo cutouts. And then you can, and maybe even allow the customers themselves to do it. Let them upload it. Remove BG if you're doing this on demand and the higher quality pictures don't matter too. Let them do it, and then let them text you the image. And guess what? You have your customer's phone number and contact information. That is a clever way to maintain contact for marketing purposes. Yeah, I don't do things too well multitasking, so if I'm talking and thinking or selecting these nodes, forgive me if I pause. Alright, so see how fun this is? And I could have just found, and this isn't even a very high quality image. I don't know why I'm sticking with this, but I guess I saw this as an opportunity to show you all. I'm going to undo those last two because I didn't curve it appropriately, so it looked a little janky. And then I have a limited mouse pad space where I'm working right now, so this mouse is getting stopped early. Alright, so almost there. You see how the curves build on one another? So we'll see if that one helps me create the next curve, or if I'm a little too off. There we go. And that one, and if you just tap it, it becomes a straight line. It doesn't have a curve to it. So sometimes you want that if you want to create a corner. Let me bring that one more out here. And this is where these messed up pixels really do matter, because you can't see a clean outline. However, if you use this tool, guess what? It will clean up those edges of this image and make it look a lot more crisp than using any other cutout method. And that is a benefit to using this pen tool, because it's technically a vector shape outline. Alright, I'm getting a little bit lazy. Okay, I should have created one here. That's why I was telling you I was getting lazy. I didn't want to create that extra node. But now you see that one node building on the next node. It's all about foundation. It's a secret of life, foundation. Alright, I'm almost done. But I want y'all to practice this. Practice cutting out with the pen tool, please. It's not as intimidating, and when you have something that you really need to have a quality cutout, this is going to be key for you. Excuse me. Alright, so let's finish off this arm. And these fingers. That's one thing I hate to trace are fingers. I hate to draw or trace fingers and hair. Alright, but we're going to make it do what it do. Getting all up in the webbing of the fingers too. And I could, not be so precise with this one particular image. Oh goodness, what's going on? Okay, it wasn't giving me my curves. Because we're gonna put all the flame around it, but I wanted to teach y'all the quality way to do it and not give you my little shortcuts, because if I knew I was putting flames all around this thing, I probably wouldn't cut it as clean or as so close. Using this mouse sometimes is hard because it's clicking even though I'm trying to drag it. Alright, we are almost there. Come on. And then I was going to say, remind me to, but of course you can't remind me. I'm going to make sure that I change the file name so that I'm not saving over my original template. And this is just an example. It's not like I'm doing this image for anyone. So I would prefer a higher resolution image. But sometimes this is exactly what you have to work with. You know what I'm talking about when the parents give you these photos that they pulled off of Facebook. So You work with what you have. Make it enough. Almost done. Now I do get a little more loosely interpreted around clothing because that's not that's pretty subjective, I'm guessing. Now that is part of the uniform. Alright. Make sure Kobe's hips don't lie either. I don't want to be cutting off. I remember one time I cut off like a calf muscle. It looked so odd and made the legs look so skinny. And poor athlete, you know. They work on their physiques just for me to cut off their biceps and their calf muscles. So I got to do better. Oh. Alright. Oh my gosh, I thought we were almost done. Now, I will tell you this, if it has these squares in the background, Remove BG does not remove these squares. So, the best thing would have probably been to either find this original image without the squares, which Remove BG would have removed the background from it, or just found another picture altogether. And I want curves. So if I hit it and I wanted that to be a corner, so see how that went in more at an angle rather than a curve. So sometimes you want those straight lines, but you definitely don't want to just click straight lines all the way around. Okay. Alright, Kobe, I'm going to do my best not to cut off any of your muscle mass. I was trying to give you some extra calves right there, as a matter of fact. Alright, almost there. I see it ready to close up. You have to close these pads too. Let's see, now I'm just being lazy and clicking instead of clicking and dragging. Alright. The fun is almost over. Can you stand it? I'm going to go back and grab that shadow from the white shoe. Alright. Close it up. I chopped off a little bit at the bottom of the shoe, but I think Kobe would forgive me. Okay, so we have it all selected. Now we have an option here. We can do a selection, a mask, or a shape. I'm going to go ahead and do mask, and it is a vector mask. I can go ahead and save as before I do anything else, and I'll save this one as dash Kobe. And then I'm also going to show you, once you do that, if you have some imperfections, like I went a little too far outside of the calf here, then I can double click on my mask and I can feather it. And because it's a vector shape, I'll show you, this feathering kind of gives it a little bit softer edge. Alright, so I'm going to click off of that. And then when I add my glow, which I'm glad I did this first because I was getting ready to delete this. I forgot it has an effect on it. We need to copy that layer style, paste it on the Kobe, and then we can delete the photo. Now let's turn on, I'm going to turn on the inside flames and work from the inside flames first. So I thought it would be easier, but now Kobe is leaning and our original subject was standing up. So let's move what we need to move. And let's see if we need to make Kobe a little bit bigger. We probably can. And I don't want to like shift them because it would, yes, it would fill the page out better, but it would look a little awkward because it's not the angle that he would really be running. So we want to stay true to that. All right, let's get it. We are going to, I'm going to go ahead and turn on, I'm on my selection tool, auto select again, and see if we have this successful auto select. Bring that over. And for Kobe, got a little bit different lines going on here. So I'm going to follow the lines of his silhouette. Control T is what I'm using to transform. You can make them smaller and bigger rather than just rotate. But for the most part, rotation should work. If I'm trying to cover more area, definitely I could use less of these and just make it bigger. So I can probably use that one. And I'm covering up some of the flames too. So if I can't see them, it won't matter. It's following the path. Control T is going to allow me to transform. Alright, let's get other side of this arm here. This one, I can Alt, and if I hold down Alt and you see that double arrow, it's creating a copy. So I just created that for both sides of the arm. I'll extend this one, Control T, to make it bigger so it covers more space. So I can stop playing with this thing. Let's get another one down here on the calf. Now, I wish I had a way to make this automated, but I don't. So this is why I set it up this way. So you all can take these pieces and manipulate them. And if people ask you for the fire design, charge them more. You have to do more artwork. The one I did before, you literally just pull in the image and pick the background colors. So that one, maybe charge less for it. It's less time to manipulate the player. But usually, you know, somebody that really wants the flames on them, they will pay for that. They like the effect. They want to show out, they'll pay for it. Nobody else is putting flames on it. It actually looks like something. So keep that in mind and charge accordingly. I'm learning my worth, guys. I'm still still playing with it a little bit, but I'm learning my worth. Another thing is I'm trying my best not to get so close. So I'll probably move everything when I'm done in a little bit because I don't like for my image to get clipped off with the printer. Not here and there. Uh-oh. That was the auto select tool, just letting you know. I was trying to get the flame and it chose the whole layer. Let's make that bigger so we have to use less of it. And let's definitely put some flame to the ball. Now this is one where I probably would have to make it a little bit smaller. Create a duplicate, transform and rotate it. And you can actually make this bend around the ball. It's not necessary, and I definitely wouldn't tell you to take your time doing that. If you were creating a super large poster, you might want those details to be on point, but this is not necessary. I think we need a little around his feet. One more here. Control T, let's just rotate it. Alright, and let's do one with the hands. We can do Control T and we can just stretch it out. Alright, oh, looks like I might need one on this side of the head. Control T. Alright, so that was the hardest one. That's why I wanted to go ahead and start with that one first. Of course, and you have your rays. Let's go ahead and turn the opacity up so we can see them. And let's turn off our flame, our inside flame. And let's hit these rays. Like I said, auto select is probably your friend in this one. And don't mind it if it covers his face a little bit, because you're going to reset the opacity down, so you won't notice that. And let me know how y'all like the clusters versus the individual ones, because clusters can sometimes leave you feeling a little limited, because you kind of feel like you have to follow these linear tracks. But I just felt like with these smaller ones it would be easier than having a whole bunch of single layers. And the more movement you have in the picture, usually the more you're going to end up doing this, because you're going to have more contour to follow. And there's a trick usually with which one you use for the left left side of the arm, you can use for that same arm on the opposite side, because it's parallel. And this one you may not even want to go inside and outside. And let's do more for the ball. Control T. Gonna rotate it, bring it in a little bit, put it more towards the edge. It looks a little crazy right now, but it has a purpose. Let's do, turn off the rays. Let's do the sparks now. And let's turn the opacity up to 100. So technically I'm doing this twice. So if you watch this video, you get to see me do the exact same steps twice and get different effects. And I'm just manipulating the sparks now, but I don't even have to do a lot of rotating, because I'm just putting them where I think they would actually spray from. And then if you need additional ones, all you do is Alt, hold down Alt and drag it. I want my sprays to go more outwards instead of inwards. And then where we run into an issue is, of course, like I said, we're hanging close to this page edge. So what I might do, instead of having my spray go that way, I might turn it in at the elbow. Okay, so sparks are good to go. Next we already did inside flame, the standard flames. We'll take and move those as we go. Auto select. And remember, this is the one that sporadically goes around, so it does not have to hit every point of the contour. And let's see, that one will be a good one for around the shoe, around the hand, not quite. And it keeps picking this background. So what I'm going to do is turn off my background because it keeps picking it, and that's a little aggravating. And like I said, don't get too close to that edge because even that fade off will look weird. It'll look cut off whenever you get ready to print. And Control Z, I'm going to lock this background so that it doesn't move and it won't select it. That is another thing you can do. You can always lock your lock all the elements that you're not working on. Well, auto select, thank you. Control T, let me rotate that one. Control T, I'll rotate this one. And it looks like I need some more on this side of the arm, so I'm going to mimic from here. One here, maybe one on the forearm. And one going out here on this side of the forearm. Let's grab this one from down here. And that looks good to me. Let's go ahead and turn this layer off. Let's make sure our big flames. Now this one, I might do the blue flames just to show you the blue flames. Big flame, let's change this one. And these are just arbitrarily placed. You don't have to keep them in the same place. I just didn't want it to look entirely on fire, so I just chose a couple of locations to accent the flames. And as a matter of fact, we might want to do it opposite because, see, that was auto selecting. Alright, so big flame 2. Stop it. Take off auto select. Eventually I knew it was going to get to me. Alright, so this one, maybe I'll Control T, transform it, flip it horizontal. And then the one down here, Control T, let me see, I want it more or less going on his feet. And I might flip that one. Let's see, transform it horizontal. Yeah, I like that better. And although I'm hanging out here, I am not being cleaned up by this background. So don't be fooled in thinking that everything is gonna be cleaned up just because it looks like that. When you print this out and you see something cut off on the edge, you'll know. Okay, so that is that. What I can do is now into the background layer, I can pull in our logo. So I'm going to go down to background where the logo is and just drag in. It's not even a smart object. You don't even have to worry about smart objects on this one. You just have to worry about doing the the clicking and manipulating of all these different flames. And I'm not sure. I didn't plan this out, so I'm just playing with it as I'm going. So what I may do is take this opacity down. The flames definitely show up best on black. And then maybe instead of the standard black, you can do let's see if I have a grunge background. I might, let's see. In the Keep It Simple, KISS, Keep It Simple sublimators, I have a few backgrounds that we were playing with. Let's see how this marble effect works. I never do marble for sports. I always do it for my my more feminine designs. But I might actually like it for this effect. Let's bring it below. I'll turn the opacity up a little bit so I can see my logo. And instead of normal, let's figure out I'm trying to find a blend mode that will work well for the marble, but it's cool on its own, but not necessarily for the purpose that we need it for. Which marble you come out? Didn't work. Uh-oh, I hit delete too many times. Hopefully didn't mess anything up. Let's see, I have this basketball court background. You would throw that in there for any reason. And I'm probably gonna black it out just because I want the foreground image to stand out. So again, if I want to do that, I can do a layer, new adjustment layer, and do black and white. And I can even change the settings here. So I can make more of my reds white and the blues, like I think the top was blue. I can make my blues darker, go more towards the black, and I think that's cool. Now I'm losing a lot of my flame once again, so I'm going to take the opacity down of this logo. And let's bring in all of my elements now and see what we're looking like. One at a time. Let's bring in, that was the team color one. Those are the blue flames. We have our regular flames, our inside flames, our sparks, and our rays. So let's bring down the opacity to somewhere around 30%. And that's it. Might manipulate where this logo is a little bit. And maybe in the foreground you could do a little logo that was full opacity. And of course I rotated it. So I'm just feeling a little empty right here. So I just wanted to fill that up with something. A little drop shadow, hopefully to make that pop a little bit. Set that to the outside, give me more like a sticker effect. And I still have my drop shadow on. And there you have it. You can imagine that for this type of template, definitely charge more. But it wasn't as difficult as it looks, but it's still some work. Alright guys, so I think that's it. I showed you a couple of examples, and I will post this with a coupon. Oh shoot, y'all are gonna get me, because if I keep forgetting to do the coupon code until the end, then y'all are just gonna watch the end. But the objective of me telling you the coupon code is so that you have to watch the whole video. Then that way you won't have so many questions because you watched the video. This coupon code is going to be FIYA 10, and FIYA is spelled F as in Frank, I, Y, A like Adam, 10. So that's just the number 1 and 0. So FIYA 10. That's going to be the coupon code that's good for 24 hours for this particular template. So you guys, happy designing, and I'm still grinding. I'll be putting out templates as much as I can to satisfy the ones that you all want to make. All right, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.